shattered an entire stack of ice into, or an entire stack of glasses into an ice well. That's happened.
Right. So there are so many different variables and factors in serving and being in a bar situation on a busy night with a comedy show and having to deal with all these different personalities, and somebody wants to sit here, but then they don't want to sit there. And blah, 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 blah. So if somebody snaps at me, I know not to take it personally because it's not me they're mad at. I just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Right.
And that energy had to go somewhere, and it came at me.
Yeah.
Which I've been in the business long enough to that kind of stuff rolls right off my back. So like whatever. If you're in a bad mood, you need to yell at somebody, I'll stand there and I'll let you yell. Do what you got to do. I know it's not about me, so whatever. But yeah, I do try to see things from other people's perspectives.
Well, that reminds me of one of the other squirrel topics that when all of these things were like coming to my mind this afternoon.
Sure, squirrel it up, baby. Get that nut.
Like someone posted on their story on Instagram this thing. This person I've had quite a bit of interaction with lately.
Okay.
And they had posted something along the lines of ego is our worst enemy.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was being directed at me.
Oh, yeah?
And I was offended. And then I had to like catch myself, be like, listen, like you're getting mad or offended by something that is 100% accurate if you're getting mad about it.
Yeah, if the shoe fits.
Yeah. And I'm like, God, like why? Why did I jump to that conclusion? Even if like by some stretch of my imagination it was directed at me, what does that have to do with me? That's
right.
Not my reality.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and it is, right? Obviously,
well, sure.
Ego is a factor.
If you made somebody feel like they had to subliminally take a shot at you on Instagram.
Yeah. And so,
which means you made an impact. So, personal growth, baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bad press is still good press. Is that the thing?
No, there's no such thing as bad publicity, which can't possibly be true. But anyway,
bad publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, all publicity
not
is
press.
I think it's all publicity is good publicity or press. It's. I think it's
some term like
it's
that.
interchangeable.
Fair. What else? What? Oh man, I don't remember where I was going.
I'm talking about ego and why'd you get so mad and blah blah blah.
No, I feel like we were going somewhere. Oh, the adding value, right?
Yes.
So, I think moving forward, having our guests on, like, I mean, I'm not saying we haven't been good about this up till now. I'm just saying, like, having that question, some advice that you would give yourself 10 years ago.
Okay.
Like, we as a partnership on this podcast should come up with more questions like that, I think. Okay. And that doesn't have to happen right now. I'm just like letting our listeners see into the way our minds work with this podcast, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And so,
I mean, I generally take my cues on this show from the way your mind works, and then kind of work my way around it. But well, you're really good at taking the lead with guests as well, though. Like you are really good about that, especially with the people that we've had on that you know better than me. And fair.
And I think that we've been able to like push and pull when we needed to for each other. You know?
Yeah, I'd say so. But man, yeah. Anything else on your mind?
Not a whole lot. Like aside, like I want just to be clear, like bringing up that like the more questions that we can ask our guests in ways that will add value to our listeners.
Right.
That's just.
What if we have guests on?
Yes.
We ask them one question at the beginning, and then completely ignore them for the rest of the podcast.
I think that's a terrible idea.
Well, then they can work on their own personal growth and how they feel about being ignored, and whether or not they're going to choose to get mad or be like, "Oh, these guys are just being silly."
I'm not sure how to handle you right now.
I'm not sure how to handle myself most times.
Fair.
Especially today. I'm in a very weird mood. I can't explain it. Well, I can explain it. I don't want to.
Were you hanging out with Shelfa last night?
Yeah.
How was WWE?
Fun.
Or Raw or whatever.
It's always a good time. Well, yesterday we were watching, well, I guess by the time this podcast comes out, the Super Bowl will have been 3 days ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, we watched the Super Bowl, and then we pulled up some old WWE action on the WWE network and just sat there watching the show and, making jokes and all kinds of shit. And it's always a good time.
Hell yeah. Well, I think that that's about all I got right now.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Over.
Yeah.
57 now.
Put this back about 43 minutes, I'd imagine, once it's edited.
Sure.
Oh, time out. Podcast you were on?
Yes. So I just want to take a second before we wrap things up. Give a quick shout out to the to Toasted Marshmallow Adventures. That is a podcast I was recently a guest on. I think that episode will be available, I want to say, on Monday, the Monday before Valentine's Day. I think they were. It was Chris and Wendy. Very nice. We had a nice conversation about comedy and other kinds of things. And
what a name for a podcast! Toasted Marshmallow Journey.
Toasted Marshmallow Adventures.
Sorry.
Yeah, they gave me a little goodie bag with like a sticker and a pin and like a little tiny bottle of Fireball. So that was cool. It's sitting in my fridge right now, saving it for a special occasion, or maybe just when I go home. Who knows? But yeah, they're very nice people. It was nice to be there, and I'm glad they had me on. And yeah, I think you can catch them on SoundCloud. I think is where you can find that one. Toasted Marshmallow Adventures.
Okay. Sweet. All right. Well, where else can our listeners find you if they haven't? If they're just tuning in?
If you're just tuning in, you can find me sometimes being silly on Twitter at It's Eric Cole. You can follow me on Instagram at Eric Cole Comedy. I have one stand-up video available on YouTube that you can watch. I think the search for that is also Eric Cole Comedy. It's just one video. It's me talking about the Backstreet Boys. It's pretty good.
It's a great joke.
And then you can follow us, the Personal Growth Podcast at personal_growth_podcast on Instagram. TriPoint Studios also on Instagram at TriPoint, TRIII Point. Be sure you check out the cavalcade of different podcasts on the TriPoint network of stars.
Oh, thank you, Eric. You can find me at shattering_the-norm on Instagram, shatteringthenorm.com. The show page is on that website.
Nice.
There's a Pep Talks blog. It's basically a blog that I give myself a pep talk that I hope helps other people.
Right, yeah.
And then next week we have a guest on. It is the owner of Copper Cloud Rain Gutters. If you're listening to this for the first time and you want to hear a great episode about gutter installation and a pretty kick-ass dude, you're definitely going to want to tune in next week as well. But until next time, Eric's Venmo is it's Eric Cole.
Yeah. I didn't mention it because nobody cares. Like I haven't
Just
gotten any.
Do it.
At It's Eric Cole. If you Venmo me money, I'll do something silly for you. And
video wise,
I'll do some kind of silly video within reason. I'll tell you a joke or whatever. Or if you're just feeling like you want to give me money, all the proceeds go to the Eric Cole Preservation Fund, which is a charity I set up to keep my lights on. So help me out there.
It's not quite a 501c3, but it's an honorable cause.
Yeah, it's a good cause. And I also have a child, so whenever you don't give me money, you're basically saying, you know what, I'm not going to I was on my way to going too far, and I'm not trying to guilt anybody into, if you want to give me money, I'll do something funny for you. At It's Eric Cole, Venmo, all one word, no apostrophe.
All right, sweet. We'll see you next week.
Bye.